Good morning. Good morning. Mic check 1, 2. Hopefully everybody's doing well this morning. Everybody had a good weekend so far. This is I'm off yesterday and ran around, slept all day long. And I needed some sleep. I woke up at I don't know, 8 o'clock. After I ran around, I got home about 11:45. I think I answered one phone call. That was it. I was out, the rest of the day. So shout out. I woke up late, hopped on the internet real fast, played a little of the of my flight sim game, and then I turned in. Yeah, got a little bit better. Man, those guys are good, man. They're good at beyond visual range fights, and beyond visual range means that, you don't ever see the plane visually. Beyond visual, that's what it means. And you got to shoot a missile off and hope that missile hits. So I didn't do bad yesterday. Didn't do bad. I got to the bombers and I shot down, and my wingman bit it. But I still shot down 2 bombers, but 4 were coming. But I got 50% of it. So late. I gutted them a little bit, so I'm getting a little bit better at it. I'm using the F-15 Strike Eagle, or the F-15A. I think, or is it the A or the C? I think I use the C, which is a hybrid of the A and the D. So it's kind of a hybrid. So, but didn't do bad. Laid waste, carries 8 missiles, carries 4 AIM 120s and a couple of I think 4 sidewinders for in close fighting when you're in that hardcore fight Fox 2s, so. But shout out to everybody that was playing yesterday, and that was fun. Had a good time. If you don't know where I've been gaming and streaming, that's on Twitch. So if you go over to my Twitch channel, and let me go ahead and put that in the thing. It is, my Twitch is officially at CTG 247, and I guess it's going to be /Twitch, something like that. Just go to that, follow it, and that will take you directly to that page. And I played like Horizon Forbidden West for about an hour a few days ago. I've been mostly, and what are you all playing? So I've been mostly playing Cyberpunk 2077 and Madden. So I'm 10-1 with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now this is going to be funny when the next Madden comes out in September. The Bengals are going to be the second best team on that game. So right now I am 10-1 with them. It's their old roster. It's not their new roster when they got Flowers and all of that. So I tried to make that trade for BJ Hill with Billy Price, and I can't get that done either. So I'm not saying it can't be done, and I don't think Madden has updated the rosters to and people will mod Madden. If you don't know, you can go into the shared files, and people have modded things. And if anybody knows if they've got the Bengals roster from the playoffs this year, let me know, and I'll put that roster in. So just let me know. Also, another thing for the community, if anybody knows the steps that you need to take, this is for the people playing Elden Ring. If you know the steps on playing Elden Ring via the PS4 on the PS5, if you don't mind, leave those steps in the comment section after the podcast. Don't leave them during the chat. Just simply leave a step-by-step guide, because I've had people contact me and I'm not even playing Elden Ring yet. So I haven't even gotten to that point. I'm going to play Cyberpunk. I'm going to finish my Madden season, do my draft. And I'm still playing the Uncharted game from January. Everybody forgot about that. You got to remember, Sony released, they released Madden in January. They released Gran Turismo in March, and they released Horizon Forbidden West. They also co-released Sifu, and Sifu is getting a physical version, if you want it physically, that comes out in May. So you'll have that come out in May. You'll have, is it Forspoken or Forsaken, whatever that game is from Square Enix. That's also coming out in May, I believe. So you're going to be full. I've always said that the PlayStation has a full plate. Well, you can see we got some topics to go over. We got the Gran Turismo 7 reception, which has been it's been received extremely well. We got the GTA 5 news that came out. We can talk about what the settings are going to be if you plan on buying. We have information that Babylon's Fall has fallen. It has flopped. It is clear that Babylon Falls was the game that got affected between Horizon and Elden Ring. It's clear. It's just the stats are out. The numbers don't lie. And we'll just talk about the Xbox gamers. They're mad as hell. I mean, they are just furious with the way Microsoft is treating them. And it's to a point on Twitter yesterday where these cats were literally saying Gran Turismo is not a driving sim. I mean, it's bad. It's real bad right now for them. And also, if you don't know, if you have a Sony Bravia TV, your VRR update is live. So it will be coming to it will eventually be coming to the PS5, probably by the end of summer. They talked about it at CES. They said they were going to do it when we were at CES. They're going to do it. So, but shout out to everyone. Let's do our little shout outs here early in the morning, this Sunday morning, wherever you are. It's 9:30 where I am, or 9:40, almost 9:45. So Vidra's in the house. What's happening? Lansville Paul, long time no see. Jeff B Gaming, how you doing? How are you doing there, young man? So let's see here. JP Loco in the house from the land down under. What is going on? Man, I saw a tick on a kangaroo the other day. It was the biggest tick I ever seen in my life. Like, I didn't think they could get that big. But they get eaten by crows. But kangaroos, they're not in a symbiotic relationship with the birds yet. Like warthogs will go to meerkats and let meerkats pick lice off of them to help keep them clean. Kangaroos don't do that. They haven't evolved to that point yet. But what's happening, Sam Ash? How are you doing, brother? Of course, the Nightbot's in the house. Don't piss him off. He's looking for certain words. I see J-Roll, the man 47. What's happening? Lincoln Clay says Mass Effect. You got that right. J-Dub City is sitting up there talking about Gran Turismo is better than Mass Effect. Now, I haven't played Gran Turismo yet, but if I buy it in a couple of weeks, because I don't have it yet, because hashtag I'm on Team PO, can't afford the O and the R, right? So, well, I decided to get what I got. And it was either I still can't believe Gran Turismo came out this early. I'm thinking this game was going to come out like in June or something. Man, this game being out. So but yeah, so shout out to J-Dub City, who said that Gran Turismo 7 is better than Mass Effect. I can't disagree yet because I haven't played it yet. So but he is playing it. Lincoln Clay is playing it. They seem to be having a good time on it. What is happening? So see here, got a new job and it's kicking your butt. I understand that. So Paul Game is in the house. What's happening, Paul Games member? How are you doing? So Mansville Paul says no more fuel to the fire. I agree. Do I check out Red Flag and Top Gun Navy? That for me, that no, I mean, you can actually play Red Flag in DCS, because that's done at they do Red Flag, I believe, out of Nellis, and you can fly against other F-15s, and I think they have a module that allows you to use F-16s as well. But if you really want to play that, they do have a dedicated server, and you can go up against like the F-22, because that's the Red Flag at this point is the F-22s and the F-35s against the F-15 and F-16s, and the F-22s win all the time. Like, they win every single engagement. So but again, the F-22 has thrust vectoring, and when you merge and that plane that has thrust vectoring, it's going to turn a lot faster. And you have to remember the F-22 cruises at about 600 miles per hour. So it cruises like right at or right below Mach 1. And it's a stealth-based plane. So, but yeah, well, all jobs, it should be hard. So, yeah, I mean, it's been scary. But let's get into the news real fast. First of all, give yourselves an applause for being here. We're going to look at Grand Theft Auto. We're going to talk about the modes that Grand Theft Auto has on it here. This is if you plan on buying it. So put a 1 in the chat if you plan on picking it up again. So if you plan on picking it up again, you can go ahead and do I hit the plus button here? Plus button. See if I can hit. All right. I forgot how to do that already. So Shift plus. Nope, that's not working. All right. So the PS5 version, and this comes from Push Square. And you have to remember, either you're a circle or you're a push square. Shout out to Foxy Games UK. So the PS5 version, if you have the PS5 and you're going to go back and replay it says you'll be able to choose from Fidelity Mode, which is 4K with ray tracing and 30 frames per second. You're going to have a performance mode. So that's going to be upscaled 4K and 60 frames per second, which I think a lot of people will be playing in performance mode. Right? Then you have a performance RT mode, upscale 4K with ray tracing, targeting 60 frames per second. So that's your resolution. So I was told that the upscale version with ray tracing, that 60 is going to be 1080p, and then it's going to be upscale. Again, I don't know whether that's true or not. Okay, because there's been no independent testing. But and Rockstar, I don't think, put out what it was going to be, or maybe they did. So, but you can just add to that conversation if you want. Again, for the people who plan on purchasing it, it could be the 3rd or 4th time, because I bought this game when I still had a 360. Okay, I played and beat this game on Xbox 360, and I don't think I bought it on PS4. I mean, again, maybe I did. I can't remember. Oh my. We're getting a bad storm coming in here. Oh, damn. But wow, that was a pretty big thunder there. It's springtime. I'd rather have that thunder than that snow any day. But the PS5, you're gonna have haptic feedback and adaptive triggers with the DualSense control. That's completely supported, and is 3D audio, which I think is gonna be fantastic. This faster loading times are naturally part of the deal as well. So it sounds like a pretty high effort port to us. Again, so it sounds like they did support the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. I mean, I still don't know what it's going to be on Series S, but it's coming to both the consoles. It's going to have the same modes on it. And as of right now, there is no word, and we can actually see is GTA 5 on PS5 a free upgrade for PS4 players? Probably not. Again, there's no word on how much it's going to cost either. So as of right now, you're seeing a shift. I mean, you do have some PlayStation games coming out because they started building them with the PS4 in mind. You're seeing them be cross-gen. And I think Gran Turismo is, and I think I think God of War will be the last game that is cross-platform. After that, I think they go full bore into next generation. But what do you all think about Grand Theft Auto 5? These are the same modes that Guardians of the Galaxy had. It's the exact same modes. So, and I would switch on those modes. The final battle, like the final battle that we were in, I switched it to 60 frames. So, but all the other stuff I was doing, the running and the jumping and all that kind of stuff, I had that on 30 with the RT mode. So, but it is what it is. So, Red Flag is the USA version of Top Gun. Yeah, it is. It is. That's exactly what it is. Does the exact same thing. So, just trains the pilots. But again, Red Flag and Top Gun is mostly class work. And that's what I've talked to 2 Top Gun pilots at the Dayton Air Show, respectively. And they said you spend 70% of your time in class and 30% in your plane. So, and I'm not sure about Red Flag as far as their class time. So, but yeah, those pilots are all good. They're all heartbreakers and life takers as far as I'm concerned. So, let's see here. Sam Ash is not buying GTA 5. Neither is V'ger. Neither is JP Loco. So a lot of people are not. A lot of people are not going to buy this. So, let's see here. Yeah, the Uncharted game, JP Loco. Yeah, that came out in January, and Sifu was February with Horizon, and now we got GT7. We're supposed to get MLB The Show next month. I don't know if it's coming out or not. I've heard that it is, and I've had somebody tell me that it's not. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. But if that's true, then you'll have a AAA game released on the PlayStation for 4 straight months, and a very good indie game in Sifu. Okay, Sifu sold over 1 million copies between PlayStation and PC. That's good. That's good. And then in May, of course, like I said, you'll get a you'll get Forsaken or Forspoken, whatever it's called. And again, right now, Square Enix is having a tough time. Their sales are not, their games are underperforming. Let's just put it like that. I'm not gonna say anything is flop. The Avengers game really hurt them, but I do remember when they announced that Avengers game at I guess it was the last E3 event they did, and I don't know if it was their own independent one, but when they showed the characters, and the characters looked nothing like their counterparts from the movies, a lot of people you could hear a gasp in the room. I mean, I heard it like, it was just disappointment. And then you went with Troy Baker and all the same crew of people, and it's like, you're not even trying to change it. I mean, damn, you all should have at least gotten their likenesses or their voices. I will give credit, at least when Square Enix did Guardians of the Galaxy, they went with people who did sound like their counterparts from the movie. I mean, they sounded like them. Rocket sounded like Rocket, didn't look like him, but it sounded like him. Star-Lord did sound like Star-Lord, especially when he would say Rocket. I mean, it sounded like they pulled it right out of the MCU. So again, it's like, but again, the game didn't sell well. People are like, because it still had that Avengers stink on it. Shout out to Slow Mo Backslap. He was saying on Twitter, because I asked him, does he think that the Avengers game hurt it? And he said, yeah, he said it, in his opinion, it absolutely did. So, but at the end of the day, I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy. It has a tree that allows you to control the conversations. It had all kind of stuff. Now, I knew it was in trouble when I traded it in, and they only gave me like $10 for it. No, I'm saying at GameStop, they gave me $10 for Guardians of the Galaxy. That's terrible, man. What do you all think? Terrible. Oh, man. So, but yeah, somebody, JP listens, this is Guardians of the Galaxy. Rocket and Drax had it. Yeah, again, they took, shout out to Sick, because I wasn't going to buy that game because Avengers was so bad. But, and shout out to Sick Humor, because he flat said it keeps the theme. I forgot how he put it. I don't think it was theme, but you know what I'm trying to say here. It kept that the concepts of how they originally were done. They put that into the game. So I liked it. I enjoyed it. There were decisions that you made early in the game that could help you later in the game. That's very Dragon Age and Mass Effect. You know, that's the kind of stuff I like. I want stuff that I do early to either help me later on or bite me in the ass. Okay, so, but again, if the game is in Game Pass, if you have Game Pass, go ahead and download it and play it. It's a good game. I vouch for it personally. You know, I thoroughly had a good time playing that game. So, you know, I was going to go back and replay it. But you see all kind of Marvel things. You see the Dweller in Darkness, which you do see in, they use them differently in the game. But the Dweller in Darkness, that's, if you watch Shang-Chi, that's the thing that's behind the wall. That's the Dweller in Darkness. So again, I'm not going to spoil Shang-Chi, but if you haven't watched it, you should. It's actually a real good movie. One of the better Marvel movies that I've seen. You know, I've enjoyed this phase of Marvel. I enjoyed Black Widow for what it was. It was a Phase 4 movie in phase. It felt like a Phase 3 movie. If you go back and you watch Captain America: Civil War, then as soon as you watch it, you watch Black Widow. It meshes together better than it would have. I mean, on Disney Plus, they do have it in its correct order, which is Civil War, then Captain America: Civil War, followed by Black Panther, followed by Black Widow. That's the way you should watch that. So, because it makes a lot more sense. Her being on the run explains why they're chasing her. Explains, you know, how T'Challa told Shield that Black Widow slowed him down in apprehending the Winter Soldier. You know, what she did do, she slowed him down. So, yeah, JP Loco is right. Rocket would say, oh man, we're toast. And Drax said, I fail to see how we are comparable. Yeah, I fail to see how our situation is comparable to overcooked bread. Yeah, that's, yeah, I mean, it was funny. I enjoyed it. It has the, who else do you see in Guardians of the Galaxy? You see the dog, which, you know, they you know, how that worked out. I mean, you see everything. So it's fun. You know, it's a fun game, you know, and I wanted more when it ended. And I didn't find all their outfits and things like that. I admit that I didn't platinum. You all know me. I do not chase those trophies. So I was watching, shout out to Marlon Gaming Nation. He streamed Gran Turismo yesterday. He actually got a trophy, and I assume everybody gets this trophy if you watch like the history of the cars. Like Marlon Gaming Nation did that, or he did something like that, and it gave him a trophy. And it's like, look, this is why chasing trophies is complete BS, because you get them for doing nothing. You know, it's like, okay, you should watch the history of the car because it's educational, and then they give you a trophy for it. Like I said, it's complete BS, you know, people that do that. So, but we'll go ahead and move on. Let's see here. Sam Ash the same for get Black Widow an 8.5. And yeah, I don't disagree with that score. I thought, well, see, I bought Black Widow down to the 7 line, 7.5. Shang-Chi, I gave that an 8. And the Eternals, I gave that an 8.5. But I have said I like the mythology behind it. They use a lot of the Sumerian mythology and they put it into the Eternals. That's, you know, them giving humans the will, it's giving access to technology, which the Sumerians did according to the translation of the Sumerian tablets. That a lot of that was in. That's why when the Eternals went off and it was showing all those paintings and pictures, and it was kind of filling in what had been left out. I thought that was really important for people to see. With that said, however, I mean, I don't disagree with all of them. Yeah, I saw the Batman, and I'm going to give it a week or two for everybody to go see it. I enjoyed it, and I think it's a nice salute to Rob Pattinson, how everybody has no longer looks at him as that hasty vampire that he played in those movies that he was in. He graduated off of that. So and again, they should make another one with him, and I hope they do. I thought this was good, and people are saying he's the best Batman. I think those people are caught up in the emotions. The chase scene in the Batmobile, though, that's I mean, Batman always has like parts in it that are just really good. And Christian Nole's Batman, I always go back to Batman Begins. If you all watch Batman Begins, when he's at the dock scene, that scene on the docks where he's beating those people up, and Falcone comes around the corner and he sees Batman just whipping these guys' asses, and just the look of sheer disbelief. That's like the look he has on his face is one of the hardest things to ask an actor to do. Like you have to give me a look of disbelief and fear. And he did that. If you go back and watch Batman Begins, you can just probably pull it off of YouTube. Just type in Batman Begins, fight at the dock. And the look on the guy who played Falcone's face was just, you can't put that into words. It was just sheer disbelief, horror. I can't believe what I'm looking at here. There's a guy, I mean, just, he couldn't believe what he was looking at. So, and, but again, I thought that scene was great. I don't want to give the movie away. A lot of people haven't seen it yet. I know in my city, Tuesdays is discount day at the theater. So I got a feeling a lot of people are going to go be seeing Batman on Tuesday. But it's good. It's good. It's a good movie. So shout out to WB. Looks like WB has figured out what people want in movies. They just want good movies. And you know, this Matt Reeves directed it, and I'm happy that people seem to be enjoying it. Well, now let's talk about a little video game that has flopped called Babylon's Fall. Babylon's Fall up here. Babylon's Fall. I'm gonna pull this from PlayStation Lifestyle here. So give me a minute here to put this up. Babylon Fall is the worst rated console exclusive ever on PS5. And this comes from PlayStation Lifestyle. So you know, it says it was doomed from the start. And this is what I was saying the other day. This is why I called BS. If you don't know why I called BS on Tony Polanco, because Tony Polanco literally was trying to say that the game that suffered because of Elden Ring was Forbidden West, which I called BS on him because we know Forbidden West has good numbers. Clearly, the game that suffered is Babylon Fall. I mean, there's no getting around. And I'm not here to say the game's good or bad. I'm not even going with that because I haven't played the game. The game suffered because of the format, and clearly it says here, and I remember I said this Tuesday night on 60 Frames No Lag. You can go back and listen to the podcast. I say it within the first 20 minutes of the podcast, okay? I'm not worried about the Metacritic score. Who gives a rat's ass? I am looking here where, and I'm just going to read this into the record because, again, and you all can give me my flowers because I told you this last week. This Babylon's Fall PS5 was doomed from the start. This Babylon's Fall looked rough prior to its release, and its beta tests were enough to gauge if Square Enix's latest live service effort was headed towards disaster. Its graphics are dated, its microtransactions have been criticized, and we'll talk more about microtransactions later on, and its gameplay leaves much to be desired, according to those who played the game. It also, and let me say this very clearly, it also, I like this, it also doesn't help that Babylon's Fall was sandwiched in between two highly anticipated Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring. Okay, let's just drop the mic right there. This is why I called BS on Tony Polanco and the rest of the people who were saying that nobody's playing Forbidden West. The game that got kicked in its nuts was this game. It wasn't, Elden Ring did not do any damage to Forbidden West. Forbidden West has sold very well, for what I was told. It says here, but its release date doesn't change its sorry state. Outside of Metacritic, a quick Google search for Babylon's Falls reviews, the reviews bring up series of poor scores, with one outlet aptly calling it a disservice. So then they go into Square Enix's live service obsession. Makes no sense. I don't disagree with that. They fell with the Avengers. I think Square Enix did that. They did very well with the Guardians of the Galaxy because it was a single player game. Now, the Avengers game had a single player version of it on that game that was actually enjoyable, but they concentrated more on the live service. It's like, why are you all doing this? Okay, why are you all doing this? So I understand. And in other news, if you don't know, Epic Games is suspending commerce in Russia, but isn't blocking access to its games. And GTA 5 version has further details. So again, I understand now. If you're Sony, I'm just putting this out there. I understand at this point why you would go ahead and want to possibly buy Capcom instead of Square. Okay, Capcom seems to be a little more stable. Now maybe Square Enix is just, they could change this. They could make a follow-up to the Avengers game and say, look, we love what they did with Guardians, and we're going to be a single-player narrative-based game. I don't get where all this live service stuff is coming from. That live service games live well on your cell phone and live well on PC. That's where they're home at. Okay, I don't get console. It ain't gonna work, man. It's just it's just not gonna work. I don't get it anymore, So but again, let me make this clear. Babylon's Fall is the game that got its walnuts crushed by Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring. It wasn't Elden Ring did not crush Forbidden West. Okay, so the Elden Ring and Forbidden West crushed this game's walnuts. Don't let anybody else tell you any different. Okay, Tony Polanco is wrong. The rest of the people in the media that are going with that narrative is wrong. Remember, the underlying narrative is that exclusive games are bad because they're causing consternation, anger, disenchantment, delusionment, because people feel like they're missing out. Okay, when you take a picture and put of Cyberpunk, everybody gives it a thumbs up because everybody gets to play Cyberpunk. You do the same thing for Forbidden West, thumb down. They're not gonna share it. You're gonna get a nasty ass comment because they're mad they don't get to play the games. Okay, so the Avengers game really hurt Square Enix. I don't disagree with that. It was palpable in the room when they showed the game. Everybody was expecting them to get the original actors. Everybody was. Okay, I mean, they didn't do it. Okay, you have to spend that extra money to get those actors to come in and be like, yeah, we'll do some voices on it. But again, I understand they probably couldn't get all of them, and if you can't get them all, you can't get none of them. I totally understand that. So, but now I understand why people, when I was saying, and I was one of them, remember I was saying Square Enix and Capcom are kind of in the same boat, in my opinion. They're the same type of company. I gotta stand corrected and say, man, look, that's not true anymore. Obviously, Capcom is the better company right now. They're the stronger company. So if I pull the plug, if I buy something, and I understand Sony may not buy neither one of them, but if they're gonna buy any of them, they need to buy Capcom. Capcom is a little more, you got the fighting tournament. Sony already owns Evo. But I understand Square Enix could probably be got now cheaper. So it could probably be gotten for cheaper. But yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion on it. Leave your comment on what you think. they should do. Not that they're going to do any of it. I mean, let me make that clear. I'm not here to say they're going to buy either one of them. But I understand, their games are, and Guardians sold okay, it underperformed. So we're not going to get a sequel, darn it. I mean, or DLC or anything like that, because why spend the resources on it? And what is Square Enix's next big game? I mean, I don't know what their next big game is. The Avengers failed. Guardians got affected because of the Avengers. Babylon Falls, they're going to probably be shutting those servers down pretty soon. And I'm not knocking the game. I mean, they just, I know people that are playing the game. I think Jay Barry's playing the game. So Jay Barry, I mean, if he has, I mean, he'll do a review of the game. So of the demo. I never played it. I forgot the game was coming out. When I literally started loading the other day, when I started, what was I playing? Oh, I was waiting. I was actually clearing out some space. And I saw, and it, I get the notification that Babylon Falls is available for download for the demo. I'm like, I forgot all about this game. I mean, literally. So, I'm like, well, maybe I'm the only one. People will still go play it. I don't play those type of games anyway. I will with my subs, with the people that are actual members. If you get, like I said, I bought the Division, had it for 6 months. It was the Division Part 2. Had it for 6 months. Nobody wanted to play. Guess what? I got rid of it. None of the members wanted to play. So, Elder Scrolls. If you all want to play Elder Scrolls online, let me know. I'll rig up a character. We can play. But so Square Enix and Capcom make great single player games, but struggle with. Well, again, I just think right now Capcom, if they were to purchase anybody, I would go with Capcom. It's not that Square Enix can't be rehabbed, though, okay? Let's make that clear. Didn't Square Enix and Crystal... If they bought Square Enix, would they not also buy Crystal Dynamics? Isn't that part of them? So they can, in theory, bring back Tomb Raider. Whether you like it or not, the Tomb Raider games were actually good games, okay? They were good games, and I don't... I get it. It's not Uncharted. It wasn't as good as Uncharted, but they're still good games. Also, big shout out to BitCloud of IGN. He did that podcast the other day talking about Metacritic scores and you need to be your own reviewer, which I agree with 100% because that's what I've said. I back that message 150%. The Metacritic is for people doing the fanboy warring, and they're going to run to that. If you don't like that guy who got banned or Sony didn't send a copy to, why are you talking about him? They're sending traffic to him. I watched a podcast the other day where J-Tech was talking about the guy not getting a Sony review code. And it's like, okay, you're talking about him. You're driving traffic to his channel. How you stop guys like that? You just don't even mention them anymore. Okay? You don't mention them anymore. So, but I said before, I don't know what the difference in something that scores an 88 versus something that scores a 91. I mean, that's, there is no difference, for me personally. So I compare Horizon Forbidden West to nothing more than Horizon Zero Dawn because it's a sequel. So therefore, is it better than Zero Dawn? So far, what I play, and I'm playing at 30 frames per second. And Digital Foundry is right. The low latency. The latency is so low that I don't feel the 30 frames. Not yet. But I haven't put it in performance mode yet. I'm afraid to. So I'd much rather have the fidelity. And they said it's a huge fidelity drop off when you go to performance mode. Now I don't know how true that is or not because I haven't done it yet. So let's see here. Babylon Falls was Platinum Games' fault for releasing that game in the state it is. Unfortunately, Square ends up taking the blame. Well, I mean, who made the game? I mean, is it co-developed or is it something Platinum Games made, but then Square Enix published? Did Platinum publish it? I mean, again, yeah. I mean, it's both their fault. I mean, I look at it as both their faults. But yeah, I agree with people saying, Square is messed up. But who made Elden Ring? Isn't that a platinum game? Who makes that? Damn it, I should know that. I don't want to ask Alexa. So maybe Alexa knows. Isn't that a platinum game? So I can't remember now. Problem is Laura Croft is bland compared to Nathan Drake, at least. Oh, I don't disagree with that. Yeah, the Laura is more about the going and finding stuff. And Nathan Drake is about the pomp and circumstance and then the other stuff. Again, Nathan Drake, the other characters around him are just better. They're better characters. I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying. So it's From Software. Okay, so is that why people are saying, all right, so if you had a choice between Sony saying we're either going to buy Platinum Games or From Software, you would say From Software? Is that where most of you all are sitting? So, I mean, is that kind of where you got? Yeah, I should have known it was From Software. I'm having a brain fart. So it's early Sunday morning. I haven't had my bourbon yet, so forgive me. I should have known that. I keep, But so what would you rather them buy? Like if you had a choice, you rather them buy Platinum Games isn't very well run studio, unfortunately. Well, do you think that makes it a contender to come to Sony then? I mean, I'm just asking. I don't know. Yeah, From Software. Yeah. So From Software would be very difficult to buy because aren't they owned by a conglomerate? So aren't they owned by a conglomerate? So it would be definitely hard to buy. What's up, AB Media? Yeah, From Software. Yeah, like I said, I had a brain fart. But, my point here is that between Capcom and Square, I saw people were having an honest discussion about which one, if they had a choice, they would buy. I was, me, I was on the fence. I was like, man, there's so much good IP on both these consoles, but Square Software, Square Enix, I'm sorry, here recently, they've kind of wet their pants a little bit, so I get, and Guardians is a good game, but I do think it suffered from how bad the Avengers game was. So, and the Avengers game was just a beat 'em up game. You used the Captain America. The only one that you used differently was Tony Stark's Iron Man, and that's after. And in order for you to get the suits that he had, you had to pay for them. AB Media says he thinks Square would be a good purchase for Sony. Hey, AB, you were on last night or yesterday with Art of Igmore. Did he just shut that live stream down? Because he was on, and I came back in the house from doing some stuff for like 20 minutes, and the stream was offline. So did his stream go down yesterday, or I'm just asking. So, Mash, what's happening? He's talking about the future. Yeah. Not trying to make it about that, but oh, this is funny. All right, we were just talking about this in here. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Adam. Oh, well, shout out to you for finding this. Oh, well, it's not like they're listening to me. I guess they don't care about what I think. Let's see if we can put this up there. I don't know if this will allow me to do it. Let's see here. Then we were just talking about, hey, look, it says, according to this, it says, boom, 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 Square Enix. The PlayStation wants Square Enix. It's like coming from the PlayStation. It's got a little bubble. I want Square Enix. Well, okay. The hell with Capcom and From Software. All right, very well. Now, this is from last month. But this article is about a week and a half old. So, well, it's 10 days old to be exactly. I don't know how to blow this up. Somebody put in the chat how I make this screen bigger. How do I make this bigger? I can do it like that. So, once again, we're talking about mergers and acquisitions in the video game space, and in the previous times, we're doing it from the point of Sony's view. Okay. That's hilarious. I mean, this is just funny because we were just talking about it. I'm thinking, oh, Capcom would be better. And it's like, oh, well, we don't care. The PlayStation 5 clearly says we want Square Enix. So there we go. That looks like that's what it's going to do. So that is hilarious, though. I appreciate that. So, talks about Sony losing $20 billion in market value as soon as Microsoft announced that. That deal has not gone through, though. Okay, this is for everybody to know that this is not, and it may not go through. So I was told, I mean, they were talking about this on CNBC. So not MSNBC, the business network. And they also mentioned this on Fox Business News. This deal may not go through because they basically told Microsoft, all these games you see up here, these are going to stay multiplayer. You know, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Diablo, and Overwatch. I don't know about StarCraft and all that stuff. Well, I'm here trying to see where it talks about it. What about current day? Yeah, it says here multiplayer and live service games are the ones, you know, it says here Haven and Deviation and Firewalk are partnerships that happen because of this. And Bungie is stated to have been acquired simply to help out their worldwide studios in delivering better multiplayer games. Yeah, that's again, I've said before, I've heard multiple people say that Sony has a deficit with Sony has a deficit with multiplayer games. It doesn't affect me because I don't play a lot of multiplayer games. But if you need to bolster that, then yeah, you bring Bungie in because they have one of the most successful multiplayer games ever in Destiny. It has great support. People are always talking about how stable it is, you know, so that does make sense. It just says who, and again, you got to understand that if they were to buy Square Enix, so since the narrative of Sony has no money is almost weirder than the narrative PlayStation is doomed. Yeah, we talked about that. Take-Two, they're the ones who published Grand Theft Auto, I believe. This is getting $19 billion. Yeah, they're not going to buy Take-Two. So, bad acquisition options. Okay, so they have Konami as an option, Ubisoft. I'm still a fan of them grabbing Ubisoft, by the way. I want everybody to know that. Let's see here. Yeah, level 5. I've heard you all mention this in the chat. Level 5. I can't believe this has turned into more acquisition stuff. Let's see here. Sega. I'm lukewarm on Sega. I understand if they did, but I'd be more excited about level 5. That's just my opinion. Quantic Dream, I thought had already been done, but I don't. The Project Karma and Solstice was eventually canceled as Sony wanted their third and final title in collaboration with QD to be Detroit Become Human. Para demo that Quantic Dream had created. Quantic Dream also having game engine difficulties with an open world game. Yeah, I don't know if you all saw the Kara demo. It was done on the PS3. Wow. So, and of course, you know, Quantic Dream's making a Star Wars game, but I thought Quantic was owned by somebody. Techland, I've heard you all talk about that. Oh, they make Dying Light. Okay, all right. So that's on here. EA ain't happening. It's not happening. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Although Fallen Order and Apex, again, if they were to buy EA, do you really think they would stop making multiplayer games? That's what I don't understand about about some people, not you all personally, but the Sony fanboys. Do you think they're going to grab a studio, then start saying, no, we're only going to put that over here? They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. You know, so I don't, says, that's it. Now, these all fall under bad acquisitions. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. I did this wrong, guys. I apologize. Let me start off. All right. So these are all bad acquisition options. So all these studios, Konami, Ubisoft, Level 5, Sega, QD, Techland, and EA fall under bad acquisitions. Now, I disagree with Level 5 and I disagree with Ubisoft, but that's just my opinion. Okay, doesn't disagree. It's all right. At the end of the world, announced as good options is Ember Lab. We've talked about that. Yeah, I would like to see them get Ember Lab simply because I think Kana is begging to be a movie, and it consists of less than 30 developers. Okay? It consists of less than 30 developers. Okay? So Sony placed its entire fall lineup on this small game, and according to Bloomberg, it really paid off for Sony, between strong reviews and the game selling well beyond what was expected from the title. So this game, because it's so better than expected, this falls under overperforming. Like the movie Venom that came out. Venom overperformed. They thought it was going to make 470 to 520 million. It damn near made $1 billion. So that overperformed. So Ember Lab is number 1 up there. Let's see here who else they got. The Hazelight. So they're working. They're a support studio for EA. They do It Takes Two. So again, I'm not, what do you all think about Hazelight? These fall under good acquisitions for Sony. Okay. Lawrence Studios, I have heard of them, but that's a big PC studio. There's you all's favorite Kojima Productions. Everybody, they gotta try to get Kojima. Okay. So, okay. Kojima falls under a good acquisition. Okay. He's going to be honest. Now this is his opinion. He thinks that PlayStation under Layton kind of fumbled their partnership with Kojima. There's a strong feeling that Kojima didn't leave the initial launch of Death Stranding feeling very pleased with this partnership with Sony. That fact, bundled with his history of working under Konami, makes this tricky. So again, probably not going to happen, but it says, oh, there you go. From Software, these fall under good acquisitions. Okay. Says here, says I do, and again, this is what I thought. Okay. I do not, however, how does he write that? I do, however, don't think that would hinder Sony or anyone else to get From Software from this Coda. I hope I'm saying this correct, and I apologize if I butcher it. Is that I'm going to pronounce this Kaida Kaiwa. Kaida Kaiwa. It may be produced Coda Kaiwa. Okay. So, again, they're a very consistent studio, meaning quality, revenue, and sales. Okay. So this would fall under, but it's owned by somebody. So this is former SEI, Sony Interactive Entertainment President, Shuhei Yoshida. I'm coming back to your comments. I'm just reading this. Yoshida on multiple occasions said he regrets being negative towards Demon Souls. And according to rumors, there's a feeling at SIE management that if they wouldn't have let From slip back then, they'd now be a PlayStation studio. So they may have missed out. I don't know. Basically, here's some of your history. So that would be nice, though, I guess, because they get Elden Ring and Dark Souls. Wow. That's something that, all right, WB games. Okay, now these fall under what this gentleman talks about, good acquisition studios for Sony. And I can't believe this is just kind of an add-on. I was not going to talk about this. Shout out to Witchcaller for making this a subject. That's why you guys are here, to make the to enhance the podcast, right? That's why you're here. You're not a bump on the couch. You're not supposed to be a bump on the couch to after my podcast, okay? So then you become a giant bump on the couch. So this is the first publisher on the list. WB is one of the most debated publishers in the entire industry. If you haven't caught up, this is an article from about a week and a half ago, by the way. Haven't caught up. In 2020, reports came out that AT&T and WB, that's Warner Brothers, were looking to sell their gaming division. Later that year, they changed their statement and said they valued their devs. Okay, the situation has been fairly quiet regarding WB games. Since then, we've had a few game announcements. In 2021, AT&T spun on Warner Brothers' Aside Discovery to form a new company. Yeah, if you don't know, this is a new company. And right now, they would be bullish because Batman, that movie is the #1 movie in the world right now. I think it's going to do, what do you all think the number is going to be? What do you think that early number is? I'm hearing it's over 110 million. That's what I've been told. I don't know. It says here, I was trying to skip to the bottom here. So who'll pick them up? Well, I can see a few targets for them, but Sony, Microsoft, and a company like EA actually seem like they're more likely to me. Worth mentioning that you're basically paying $4 billion. Wow. Wow. Now you got to remember, Sony's got about 11. They got like 10.6 billion left. It says $4 billion to acquire the developers and very few IPs. You basically get Mortal Kombat, and then you get Harry Potter. Even then, it's if you want DC, Harry Potter, etc., you got to pay more money. So basically, you're paying for Mortal Kombat. I would not give them $4 billion for Mortal Kombat, but I am not in acquisitions and things like that. Me ho ho, I have heard this one cost. It would cost a lot. They ain't gonna pay it. Let's just move on. Then here's the big one, Square Enix. Shout out to AB Media. I'll come back to see what you said, AB Media. Sony is like Final Fantasy. Enough said. I mean, we all know that, right? But in honesty, I don't need to explain this when Square Enix is the second publisher on the list. To be entirely honest, I think Square Enix is the one that this is opinion now. That I, as a consumer, you got to understand when people put this stuff out, they're just giving you their opinion. This doesn't mean that they're like they're needed, they're saying to do this. No, you all better go back to literature class and learn what is a fact-based statement, a statement based in facts, statements that are hyperbole and being facetious. Like I can be very facetious. The PlayStation community saying Xbox has no games, they're being facetious. Xbox has games. Now, the correct statement is Xbox has games I don't want to play. But it's better and it sells t-shirts when you say Xbox has no games. That's not true. Xbox has games. You may not want to play them, and that's fine. Let me make that clear. They've got Forza, they've got Halo, they got Flight Simulator. They've got games, and you don't want to play them, that's fine. It says here, let's see, it says first and foremost, there are a few brands that I think Sony would absolutely love to own. It starts out with Tomb Raider and Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest and Kingdom Hearts. And it furthers their relationship with Disney. That is true. That's true. But now, here's my opinion on this. If they were to buy Square Enix, I think that money should come out of the major Sony studio because they could make a they could make a Tomb Raider movie. But who else they got in here? They've got, the Final Fantasy remake. They talk about all the expansions, Guardians of the Galaxy. We just talked about this. Of course, Babylon Fall was a disaster. The Avengers, a disaster. Could they buy this studio and rehab that image? Okay, could they do that? The good part is that Luminous, Eidos, and Crystal Dynamics, I asked this earlier, would all thrive. I agree with that statement. So again, this is just his opinion. So I bet this is going to be Capcom if there's still more to this article. Yep, there it is, Capcom. I prefer Capcom. So this gets you Monster Hunter, Street Fighter, and of course, Resident Evil with that tall woman right there that everybody's just... Okay, let me ask you this. Does this tall woman, if you play Resident Evil 8, does this tall woman chase you around like that dude did with the hat in Resident Evil 2? Because that is unsettling as an MF, okay? It also gets you Devil May Cry. Yeah, that's a good point. And Pragmatica. Yeah, you're right, Pragmatica. I forgot all about that. This is actually coming pretty heavy-handed. So, let's see here. There's not a lot to dislike with Capcom. I agree. But what speaks against it? Well, they did take a roughly 5% investment from Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. Look, let me let you all in on a secret. The Saudis have so much money because of their oil. They've got so much money. They spend days trying to figure out places to put it. And they created this group here, the Public Investment Fund, to put their money. I mean, they have to create stuff. It's ridiculous. So this doesn't really deconfirm it happening, and in theory, it could also be a move by Saudi Arabia to earn money in the event Capcom does sell. That's true. Because again, if you make an investment into the company and then the company says we're going to be sold, if the stock is trading at, I don't know, let's just say $60 a share, their shareholders could say, if you sell, we want $70 a share. Then your 5% investment goes up. I don't know what that would be as far as a 5% investment. I'm not a very good math guy, but that's how you make money. Okay, it's like, okay, you saw that with Activision, right? Activision was what, $84, and they got Microsoft to pay $92 on that VIC, on that action. That's crazy, $92 a share. That's why they're getting sued, because they're like, well, this helps the fat cat, but this don't help me. So their employees are suing them. So anyway, but I'm leaning. I understand now. Okay, shout out to you, AB Media. That says WB or Square Enix are way more likely, even though Capcom would be the strongest choice. I'm for the strongest choice, but I understand. Look, you're telling me you're gonna pay $4 billion for Mortal Kombat. And it says here, if you want DC, Harry Potter, etc., you'll need to pay a license fee. I mean, no, if I'm giving you $4 billion, that better include the licenses. Now, so here in this whole thing, all right, I'll give you all From Software, because I know you guys love that Bloodborne game. My big ones on here are Ember Lab. I would love to see them grab. Haze Light, I would like to see them do their own game. I'll give you From Software, but give me WB. I just don't like that number at $4 billion. And let's see here. I'm Capcom, but I understand Square Enix. That's a lot of IP. That's a lot of IP to grab. So I totally understand if you all want to fall into that. We'll come back over here and see what you all are saying. Is it Control Plus? All right, I could not remember it. So I'll do that for the next one. Control. I did Shift Plus. I knew it was something plus. So Level 5 has Ni no Kuni, and yeah, Ni no Kuni is a very popular game. I mean, it is very popular. So Christopher, what are we wowing to? So let me see here. Oh yeah, that was a good article. Oh, ABB said he got flagged for copyright. How? When he's using his... Okay. All right. Wow. Well, let me tell you something, AB, and I would say this to BGS as well, and anybody that's listening. If you all thought that the quote Pookies and Ray Rays were going to go away quietly, you all had another thing coming. So you got to be prepared for it. And yeah, I don't know why people do not LLC their channels, and because when you do that, you get some type of protections from what's going on. That's just me. That is nothing against. Shout out to Art of Ignore. That's I hate that that's happening to him. He's a good content creator. But there was going to be pushback when him and BGS read the Kerner Commission and the Monahan report. It's just, I don't know what else to say. I actually anticipated that. Like, well, I'm sure that they've got some protections around the account. Shout out to Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. He said that he lost a potential partnership with Keeps, but Keeps, that's that black men do not need to be doing partnerships with people who make who sell Viagra type products. That's a bad look for brothers, okay? Even Snoop Dogg, he pitched a erectile dysfunction product, and he was like, I don't use it, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't. I'm like, nah, man, nah, you can't pitch something to me that you yourself don't sell. So, but shout out to MTR and yeah, shout out to all the brothers. But just remember, there was going to be pushback against you all. Here's what you all should, and I might invite BGS on, and AB, if you want to hop on, you can, if BGS can come on. I may do I want BGS's opinion on Joe Biden's State of the Union speech, where he threw black people under the bus, but he got an 8-point bounce. So clearly, you can see what the Democratic strategy is, and oh man, that I think that would be a good podcast. Anyway, where we at? Christopher Hartsey says Square Enix coming to Sony. No. So that article, which was published last month, was about here's what would be the bad acquisitions for Sony, and then here's what would be the good acquisitions. So he broke it into two different parts, and From Software, Square Enix, Capcom, Ember Labs, those are all, in the good acquisitions. So I mean, look, in WB, however, would want $4 billion, and that's just for one IP. That would be for Mortal Kombat. And then the article clearly states that if you wanted the Harry Potter one and you wanted the DC stuff, you have to pay the licensing fee. And I'm like, there ain't no way in hell I would drop $4 billion. The licenses have to be included in that. The hell with that. So Keeps is about keeping your hair. Now I thought it was for erectile dysfunction. So are you sure? No, are you sure? Oh, there's one that's just like for erectile dysfunction. Let's see here. Keeps. No, you're right. It is a hair product. What's that other one that is? Are you sure? It is. All right, I stand corrected. Well, that's still a bad look. Now, my point is that it's a bad look. You're hawking hair treatment. Just shave your hair off. That's what I do. So, but I didn't start. I'm not losing my hair yet. But it's still a bad look. That's my point. So, so just shave your hair. So what did somebody say? Ember Labs would be a really cheap purchase, probably between 5 and 10. Yeah, I agree. It'd probably be closer to 4 million. So I agree. Sony makes movies, so the HP license makes sense. Harry Potter license. Again, not at 4 billion plus license. Now, again, I'm not in acquisition. So I don't know what if they were to say, we buy the license and then we make more Harry Potter movies. Okay, but aren't they doing a Harry Potter TV show? They're doing a Lord of the Rings TV show and a Harry Potter TV show. So, Wolf Saint says, can they get Capcom and Square? They don't have enough for both. That would probably cost about $6.3 billion if you got both. Because Square is worth about a little over $2 billion. And then Capcom would be closer to 3.6 billion, but you get a lot of IP. That's why I think WB is an L. That's just my opinion, though. But they may not get neither. I mean, to me, what if they were to try to get From Software and Ember Labs? Would you all not be like, hey, this is a good idea? I mean, they can see, look, From Software sees those sales. Okay, we all saw the sales numbers, right, for Elden Ring. Clearly ain't nobody on Xbox playing that game. So, lady, what follows you around the castle, but the castle is small. All right, well, see, I don't like being followed around like that. So, especially that dude in Resident Evil 2, people were like, well, if you break his line of sight, he won't find you. That is BS. I broke his line of sight when he first came in that helicopter. This is my first playthrough. When he first moved the helicopter out of the way, which he just took one hand and did that, this dude followed me outside, up. I don't know how I guess he jumped up that ladder, and then he followed me into another room, at which I got out of the room, went down the ladder, went past the helicopter, went into the main lobby, had to kill that black cop that turned into a zombie. I killed him, went into the library, went into the room adjacent to the library, and I still heard his footsteps. I'm like, this is BS. I mean, And then when I got to the part of the game when you're in the sewers and stuff, he followed me over there. I'm like, how does this dude get to where I'm going? You know? Amazon making the Lord of the Rings show. I believe it is. They've also got that other one, Wheel of Time? That's actually pretty good. We watched the first 2 episodes. Shout out to my woman because she's watching this stuff. She's like, well, if you like Lord of the Rings, watch this. And I'm like, And she actually, this is a good show. I mean, she got good taste, okay? So, Sony itself should get Ember Labs because they do animation. They could, yeah, oh, no, I agree. I think they could make a movie with Kana. That's just my opinion. You know, I thought it was funny where they put down our team or something like that, and Herman Holtz put LOL, your team, something like that. So maybe they already have got them. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they already have. There's some people who think they've already bought them and it hasn't been announced. So we'll have to wait and see. Just like with Haven, I do believe they're going to buy between Haven, Deviation, and Firewalk. I think they're going to buy Deviation and Haven. The reason why is because if you can't get Kojima Studio, you at least get Jade Raymond. Division doesn't chase you as relentlessly as Mr. X or Nemesis do. It's fairly slow. Well, again, Nemesis, all right, so Nemesis, that's Resident Evil 3. But if you use the girl on Resident Evil 2, you get chased by both that dude that's got an eyeball in his arm, which is hilarious to me. I don't know who designed that character, but it's like, you put an eyeball in an arm? Okay. So, and then when you shoot the eyeball, it turns red. I mean, I really enjoy but Resident Evil takes me back to PS1 days, and that was like the game. I mean, everybody was playing Resident Evil 1. Everybody. What else did I kill on Resident Evil when I was playing it? That thing called a liquor. It had a giant tongue. I must have killed that thing 50 times. I mean, I enjoyed it though. But I don't like that Mr. X thing because they said, well, it adds a form of, it does. It's unsettling being chased by that dude. So, William Birkin, the eyeball guy. Yeah, I thought that was Nemesis. Doesn't he turn into Nemesis? You know, didn't he turn into Nemesis or something like that? So, yeah, because you kill his sister in Resident Evil 2. Spoiler alert: you kill his sister, but and I don't know how Ada Wong it survived her fall. Remember, she fell off the building or something like that, and then she throws you a rocket launcher, and that's the only thing that stops Mr. X is a rocket launcher. So but I enjoy Resident Evil 2. You all can tell that from the way I'm talking. They're on crack if they think I'm gonna pay full price for Resident Evil 3. That's why I'm excited about Resident Evil being 4K native and having ray tracing, and basically you're gonna get the again, let me make this clear, you're gonna get the PC version of it with high graphics and all that kind of, the same way you would Mass Effect. Mass Effect, the trilogy, the Legendary Edition, you guys got the PC version, that the version that you all have on console now with the PS5 and the Xbox. Also, I think Mass Effect Andromeda is going to get a 60 FPS boost in November, and the Xbox Series console or Series X is going to get the 120 FPS mode. I don't know if they're going to do that for PlayStation or not. But let's move on. I think we kind of went off the rails, didn't we? We talked about GTA 5. Says no Nemesis was created by it. All right, so you kill Birkin in Resident Evil 2. You blow up Mr. X. You kill the sister. So Nemesis was created by Umbrella. So that's the dude chasing you around saying stars, right? That's Nemesis. That's Resident Evil 3, right? I think I've got that right. It's been so long. My friend Smitty loved Resident Evil 3 though. He said it was unsettling being chased by Nemesis as well. So I'm like, well, who won in a fight between Nemesis and Mr. X? Like, who wins in a fight? Because Mr. X had that quick right hook, right? Mr. X was like, pop, you was like, pop, and you were down. Oh man, so that was funny as hell though, guys. I mean, it was just unsafe. I don't like being chased like that, especially when I break line of sight and then he still. I mean, I was running to the other part. You know, now what was that other part? You remember Resident Evil 2 where you had to fix the bell or something like that? You had to like go through the library on the second floor. You had to push those units together, then walk across and fix the bell. I was trying to fix the bell and I kept hearing this dude with that hat on, like right outside the door. Like he was but he never came in. So does he ever come in? What's up, Dapper G? So hit that like button. Yeah, we're going to talk about GT7's reception. Let's go ahead and get that pulled up here. I still got another story to do after this. Let's find the GT stuff. Review. Let's. Oh, yeah, we'll use Games Radar. Hey, here. Okay. So this comes from Games Radar and clearly says here Gran Turismo, their reviews is a simply stunning driving game. We will go ahead and great day in the morning, $89.99. Why is it $89.99? Okay, so it has the pros, incredibly high motion quality, driving physics, GT Sports online multiplayer systems carry over, a huge garage load of single player challenges to compete. Here are the cons. More like Outrun than F1 racing and single player. We know that. EP system still doesn't balance difficult perfectly. All right. I wouldn't call that necessarily a con, but that's just their opinion. But Gran Turismo reception has been pretty much overwhelmingly great. Okay. It came out on Friday. People started. I woke up to go to work on Friday, and there were people playing it digitally. Of course, I get all my games physically. I did not pre-order Gran Turismo. I plan on picking it up, but it'll be after St. Patrick's Day, right around that time is when I plan on picking it up. I want to give myself more time with Cyberpunk and Forbidden West. So that's why. Now, if somebody wants to be generous and hit the Cash App if they want to, or hit the PayPal up, or whatever, that's fine. Or send it to me via a code. I will accept it. I'm humble, but yeah, like I said, if not, I'll be waiting on it. Since the bulk of the game is the career mode is spent outrunning outwardly slower cars and gameplay, more reminiscent of Ridge Racer Type 4. As the game goes on, the hip hop dies away, leaving guitar solos that would, what am I reading here? No, okay. That would sound out of place on the Sega Saturn. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. This. The gargantuan game, taking him 28 hours to master all the licensing tests. Wow. 28 hours. That's just on the test. That's just not including the tracks, like driving. Now, when I used to play Gran Turismo back in the day, I could never get the gold license. When they went to the licensing test, I never could get the gold license. So I was always on the silver tracks, and that kind of pissed me off. But anyway, so hopefully they made it where you can get past those tests, be a little bit easier. I know they're easier when you have a steering wheel, because that's the way they designed it. Like, you want to master, and it's not that you can't master it with the gamepad, but they say it's more in line with people on the stick, with the stick and with the HOTAS, which makes sense. So, but apparently it has microtransactions in it, and we'll talk about that briefly. I don't see why it's a big deal because Gran Turismo Sport had microtransactions from $1.99 to $49.99. The Flight Sim on Microsoft Simulator has microtransactions in it. It does. You go back to the Xbox 360, Mass Effect had microtransactions. I mean, that's the first time I did DLC was for Mass Effect on the 360. So it was called Bring Down the Sky. That was the name of the DLC I bought. Now that DLC comes free for you all. But again, I digress. Gran Turismo, the people that are playing it are loving it. I watched Lincoln Clay play it the other day. I watched Marlon Gaming Nation play it the other day. And everybody is, and I saw a perfect thing, we'll talk about it online about Gran Turismo. But at the end of the day, are you the people that are playing the game, are you enjoying the game? I don't have the game, so I can't give you a proper review. So but I've seen the people driving around the tracks, they're really enjoying it. People are laughing out loud, they're having fun. The game looks phenomenal. The game looks phenomenal. And you know, it runs 4K 60 most of the time. Okay, let me see if I can do. What'd you all say? Is it Pro? All that up here. Let's see here. Somebody got the steel. Oh, it's the steel edition. It's 79. Okay. Y'all complaining about $70 games when the 130 down. Oh no, I'm not complaining about them. I mean, I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to be able to get everything the first day it comes out, but that's fine. So, see here. Here it says MTX is only bad when it's Sony games. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like I said, I've done MTXs for ever since the 360. So I mean, you don't have to do it. Like, there is a way for you to go out and earn every card that's out there, but do you want to go ahead and do it? So the reason why I'm asking about Resident Evil 8 is because I'm going to be playing that probably by the end of the month. That will be the next game I start, because I bought that and I haven't played it yet. I bought that in Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm like, okay, but then I got caught up in that 5-hour demo for Cyberpunk. Once I got all my settings correct for the HDR and you know, the luminous, you know, I had to go in and retrain myself on HDR, and I had to go look at my TV ratings. I got that game perfectly where I wanted it. My 5 hours was up. It was like, your demo has expired. I was like, nah! But it says you can enjoy this game by buying it, and it for right now it's on sale for $24 or $23.99. So I'm like, yeah, I'll pay $20 for this. So I paid it. So MLB also has MTX. So yeah, MLB's had that since 2014 when I was playing it. When I got my first PlayStation, MLB, that was one of the first games I bought. And it had microtransactions in it. It did. I used the Cincinnati Reds, and then if you wanted to use the Big Red Machine jerseys, you could unlock them early. It's not that you couldn't use them later on in the season, but you know, you could go ahead and do it. I love those the 75 through 78 Reds jerseys, the Big Red Machine. That's the jerseys I like. So, JP Local, no puzzles. Well, that's what I'm like. Because Resident Evil 2, I had to keep stopping playing the game. I had to stop playing the game and then go over and solve the puzzles. So, but yeah, that's fine. It was no big deal. But I beat it. You know, I finished it, I should say. I got attacked by Mr. X in that garden. I'm like, what the hell? So, but yeah, so I don't have an issue with microtransactions at all. Like, at all. It's just I don't. So, oh, it is control plus. Okay. That's the way I do it. All right. So it says ultra fast loading times on the PS5. That thing is spoiling me. A friend of mine's got a PlayStation Pro, and he was playing a game on there, and he died. And it took the Pro like 30 seconds to load the game. And I'm like, dude, this is just... But one of the things the PS5 and the Xbox does very well is load its game. So, says here, it says you'll be zipping in and out of events, making it feel oddly a handheld game. Perfect for quick bursts of fun, though you may have yearned for more substantial races with the first 15 hours or so as you focus on piecemeal events. So again, this is the way, this is old school Gran Turismo. You just could not hop in and start playing every track. You had to earn your right to be on those tracks. So again, I'm going to buy the game, but I'm just not I'm not getting it yet. So like I said, I'll end up with it though. I promise. I'll get it. JP Loco played through Resident Evil 8 4 times. My gosh. So yeah. Hell, you're a better man than me. I've not played it once. And I'm like I said, I'm going through the playthrough of Resident Evil 2 with the woman. Because I beat it with the guy. His name Leon. Yeah, a white man named Leon. There's one statue turning puzzle, but it's easy to figure out. You completed it accidentally. Like I said, when I come into a puzzle, I'll just go ahead and pause the game and I'll go online. Like, all right, this is what I need to do. All right. But yeah, if it's easy, I'll give it a whirl. I mean, because I played Skyrim, and when you went into those dungeons and stuff like that, I had to figure out stuff and turn things different ways. I just was good at it. Fallout 3. When you were trying to hack stuff, I put my hacking abilities really high. It was easy for me to figure it out. I mean, that's one of the things you got to do in Fallout is hack stuff and always add to your intelligence and your computer stuff. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'll give Resident Evil 8 a whirl. So that's a Capcom game. All right. So in the end, we're gonna close it out by talking about how just pissed off the Xbox community is. I was online yesterday, and these guys were literally online saying that, well, Gran Turismo isn't a racing simulator. It's a it's a arcade racer, just like Forza Horizon. And I'm like, no, one's a simulator, the other one's an arcade racer. So, and but this went on and on and on for hours. And it's like, okay, all you guys are showing is how unhappy you are with Microsoft. And they're right. Shout out to OBJ the Don. He said it years ago that these dudes were mad as hell at Microsoft. They're mad at Microsoft because Microsoft has not provided them with the games they thought they were going to get. Remember, and yes, and Xbox influencers lied to them. They lied to them about, those Xbox influencers went full Donald Trump and was lying about, a 40 to 50% gap and, Delta and, the games were going to be 30% better. When games actually look better on Xbox, it's about a 12% difference to the point where you can't really tell. I'm not saying that there's no differences at all, but the PlayStation 5 is outperforming. It is outperforming the Xbox. So these guys have run to VRR and VRS. So they keep running to this to hardware and software. They're not talking about the games. So it's really sad that these guys are on this. And they were talking about the flight sim. This one guy said, well, the flight sim game is better. I said, the fact that you're comparing a flight sim game to a driving sim, that's what's sad about this. I'm like, why can't you just enjoy Forza Horizon and the flight sim game for what it is? He said, well, people were making fun of the flight sim game. I said, no, they made fun of the fact that you had a flight sim game at 30 frames per second. That is an abortion. You can't have that. Okay, you can't have a flight sim game running at 30 frames per second. I mean, that's a joke. That's a joke. All right. So, but these guys, they're just unhappy. And if you don't know, something Peter Moore said, he used to work at Microsoft. But Peter Moore, and I'm just going to paraphrase him, he said that, you can't let Sony just come out unchallenged. You have to be ready to challenge them, or else they'll just overwhelm you because of their development teams and stuff like that. If you all can't see that what has happened is that Microsoft launched their console and it was not ready. Okay. Their games don't come out to a year later. Now, one reason was the Halo game wasn't ready. The game that you're looking at, it wasn't ready. It looked like trash. Still looks like trash. And I'm on PC. And it doesn't look as good as like the character models, that guy's character model looks good, but it doesn't look as good as the character models on Spider-Man with Miles Morales. Doesn't look as good as the character models on Forbidden West. So Microsoft put their console out to compete with. So you got to remember, the 360 came out early, had a 30% fail rate. Microsoft is about to get sued in class action. Bill Gates comes out and says, "No, we're going to fix them for free." So there's no reason to sue us when you can just send it in to us. And Microsoft paid for the shipping, because remember, we got a free box, and then they sent off your Xbox. They sent it off. They sent off our Xboxes to the La La Land, and then we got they refurbished them and they sent them back. Now, I remember when it was so bad that the one E3, Don Matrick comes out, apologizes, and they say, "Here's your new Xbox." This was on a Monday, and when E3 was on a Monday for Microsoft, and they said, "Your new Xboxes are on your way to the stores right now." So on Thursday, I was off work, and I remember stopping at Best Buy, and I'm like, "Oh, is this the new Xbox?" They said, "Yep." And I went ahead and bought one. But I didn't transfer anything over to it, so I just started over again. And then, I did that with my PlayStation for a year, but then I actually got in touch with Sony, and they helped me transfer everything over. So Flight Sim was also a the Flight Sim game is a PC game ported to the console. Now, I specifically have said that Sony does not have anything like Microsoft's Flight Sim, so Sony should look at trying to bring X-Plane over to Sony, because they don't. And I've said before, Sony doesn't have anything like Forza Horizon. They ought to look at trying to bring back Ridge Racer. I've said that 100 times. All right, so I don't want to hear people saying, "Well, you're just being a pony and you're just doing." No, I mean, Sony does not have anything like Microsoft's Flight Sim. They should look at bringing X-Plane. So let's take a look at X-Plane. Let's see here. I think we're up to 11. This is, hold on. Let me put this on the screen here. Let's. Yeah, X-Plane 11. This came out, and again, Microsoft Sim is done to compete with this. If you want to know what's competing with Microsoft's Flight Sim, it's this sim. It's called X-Plane. All right. So, but it's you can just buy it straight from PC. You can demo it. I've done the demo. It's just as good, if not better, than Microsoft Flight Sim. But you can barely see that Cessna. See if I can control. You blow it up there. So, but this is a game that they should look at putting on the PlayStation. It's you have 3D cockpit. I mean, it's the exact same thing. The world. It's got tugs, but you have that on Flight Sim. But again, the new stuff. This is why Microsoft is pushing the whole European thing, is because X-Plane. Okay. Now this game is 2 years old. It has a competition. I can keep trying to tell you all that. So the aircraft design. So, and again, it has a news thing. So again, just like the Flight Sim game. So again, this is another Flight Sim. Oh my God, they had the space shuttle. I didn't even know that. So again, it is what it is. You can use VR. Has full support for VR. This will be something this is just me personally. Sony, if you're listening, look to put this game in VR on because you don't have nothing like it. Okay, you have nothing like it. But man, this would be great for VR for Sony VR 2, PSVR 2. You don't have anything like this, so you need this. Okay, they need this. This is a need. So that's what I think. Now, do I think if Sony never does this, am I going to sit back and complain that they're a terrible company? No. No, it's just they do need something that can compete with Microsoft's Flight Sim. They do need a game, even Destruction Derby. They need an arcade style driving game to match Microsoft. With that said, it doesn't mean that I shouldn't say they need. They should at least look into those type of games. All right. Now, with that said, they don't have to do it. It doesn't mean they're terrible. It doesn't mean they're horrible. It just, it just means that they have an option. They could go talk to that company and be like, yeah, we can port this through Nix's studio. You got to remember, not only is Nix's capable of porting PlayStation games to PC, they can also port PC games to PlayStation. So, why would Sony want to compete with a sim? Very simple. If you have VR, it's a good way to experience the VR. All right, and it would put them competitively in the same market. All right, that's why you don't want to not challenge them. Okay, on that. And the Microsoft Flight Sim right now is considered the top sim in the world. It is. It's the #1 sim in the world. X-Plane is second. So, and then you get into DCS and a couple other things. But, DCS, that's the one I play. That's the third ranked sim. So, but again, you want the immersion in VR when you do flight sim games is second to none. And this allows Sony to put a game on their console and do, with VR support that Microsoft doesn't have VR support on their console, do they? Take that away. You could say we have X-Plane coming. It's going to have 100% VR support with PSVR, and it will be the only flight sim game that has VR integration. That alone is worth it. Being able to say that alone is worth it. But that's just my opinion. This is great. What's happening? Says what Sony should try to port to PS5 is Space Engine. Yeah, that would be different. Space Engine is different. It gets boring after a while though, but I don't disagree with. I like it. I've seen people use that. It's not like you can build a ship and then do it. Now they can do something like that. Build a ship and then you go to Zeta Reticula. Build a ship, you go to Alpha Centauri. Build a ship and you go to Lyra. I mean, I agree with you in principle, but yeah. Because you don't think Sony needs to have every game to compete with. I didn't say that. I said this gives them a game in VR that they could use for VR immersion. That's what I'm looking at it. But yeah, you don't want to just give up a germ to anybody. So, well, that's just my opinion. JP Loco, they criticized Gran Turismo for being a driving sim. No, they literally were online yesterday saying it was not a driving sim. I promise you that's what they were saying. Because again, they do not want Sony to have anything that they don't have. So, we can use VRR and it's going to run the games better. And it's like the game you're still dropping frames. That's what they don't understand. They think VRR actually helps correct the frames. And it's like, no, it helps correct the screen tearing that the frames are causing because you're bottleneck. That's what it does. So it does have space. It does. Okay. When did that happen? I need to catch up on it then. What game did Microsoft compete with Sony games? The Flight Sim game is one of the best looking games out there. And again, it has no equal on PlayStation. So that's it. That is one of the games. And Forza Horizon, an arcade racing game. Sony does not have that. They don't have an arcade racer. So again, they're just giving that space up to Microsoft, which again, they could change that if they bring back Ridge Racer and they put X-Plane and give it VR support. Dude, game over. Sony is offering VR. X-Plane in VR would give the gamer an experience like no other because their competitor doesn't have VR. That's it. You go out and how do you market that? We have VR support and they don't. Okay? And don't say that quote unquote ponies would not be going nuts online talking about, well, we have a flight sim game and we have VR support. Where's your VR support? They would because they're retarded. You know? So they're retarded. So but they used to criticize Gran Turismo for being a racing sim. Oh, okay. You're saying they used to. Yeah, I know. Like I said, yeah. It's sad where they are. Like I said, I actually feel sorry for them at this point. I mean, I'm just kind of like, look, you guys are so unhappy because again, Microsoft created a console with nothing. Okay, it had really nothing, and then when they started building games ground up for them, they're 30 frames per second. I mean, what's the name of the medium rare? It's 30 frames per second. You know, oh, we're doing this ground up. We're doing it ground up. 30 frames per second. The flight sim game, 30 frames per second. Forza Horizon, 30 frames per second. I mean, I can keep going on and on and on. So, you know, it's just, it is what it is. I'm not, I get it because Forza is a cross-gen game. I understand now. Like I said, I got told, look, Sony's games being cross-gen because they started building them on the old hardware. They're simply just porting them into the PS5. So, but again, you know, the Horizon Forbidden West is 60 FPS mode. It's very similar to the mode that's on it's totally it's okay to disagree, game over. It's not the end of the world. You know, they you know, that mode is very similar to the 60 FPS mode they put on The Last of Us Part 2. It's just a basic version. You're right, they did not. What game? Yeah, I read that. I didn't know Space Engine had a spaceship in it. I may actually look to purchase that then. When I saw it, people were just going to different galaxies, or you know, they were going to different parts of the Milky Way and exploring. Maybe that was a different engine, but I'll look that up. But yeah, Space Engine. And I almost, like I said, I played that. I did a demo of that. This actually wasn't. It was fun. Wouldn't care if PS had a flight sim, just like you don't care about having a driving sim. Well, no, that's fine. And again, I'm talking about VR. You know, I'm pretty sure Gran Turismo is going to have VR support eventually. They come out with PSVR, but they don't have a flight sim game. And I'm just saying that they're leaving out because they sell a HOTAS. You know, the PlayStation, they sell a HOTAS for sims, but they don't have a flight sim game. So, and again, you can use it for more than that. You can use it for the Star Wars game that's out. You can download that and use it that way. You can use a HOTAS like that. So there's different game. Ace Combat, you can use the HOTAS. So it is what it is. But yeah, these Xbox guys are just mad as hell. They're mad as hell, and it's no fun to even be going because they're just mad at this point. And it's like, yeah, Xbox created a console with no games, primarily to get their console into the wild, so that people would actually buy it and it would go up against Sony. Right now, the Xboxes are starting to pop up on the shelves because they've met demand. So now you're going to start seeing more Xboxes pop up. I mean, in my city, Xboxes, I can go and get a Series X. Now, I'm not going to, but I can go get a Series X. Now, you know, I'm trying to find a GPU. If anybody knows anybody selling a 2070, let me know, because I want a 2070. If I can't get a new GPU by my birthday, which is in August, I will end up getting an Xbox because my PC with it's RDNA 1, and it's starting to lag behind. Okay. You know, which that's what I was told. Like, hey, your console is perfect to play some games at 1440p 60. It's perfect to do 1080p open frame, but my console, my PC, but you do need to upgrade your GPU. And I said, when do I need to do that? They said by 2022, which that's where we are. That's where we are. And that's what I need to do. So I think Resident Evil VR, Resident Evil 8 VR is coming. Okay, that could be. That could be. So I mean that Call of the Mountain, whatever that's called, man, that looked real good in VR. So I have to wait and see how they do it. Wasn't any gameplay, it was just a cutscene, or it was a vertical slice. But yeah. And again, I'm looking forward to gameplay of Starfield. I will be playing Starfield. It's just a matter of where I play it. So if I get a new GPU, I'll be playing it on PC. If I can't find a GPU, I'll be playing it on Xbox. So, but I'm gonna ask you all a favor as a fellow gamer, and you don't have to do it, of course. When Starfield comes out, don't make fun of people if it doesn't work out like these guys think. Okay, just leave it alone. Just simply say, hey, hope you enjoy Starfield. You know, leave it there. Because if you don't plan on playing it, and I do agree with Marlon on this, if you don't plan on playing Starfield, why do you care about it? And I would say the same thing to the Xbox guys. You know, why are you so worried about Gran Turismo and Forbidden West if you don't plan on playing it? Why do you care about it so? I mean, you do start to look stupid when you are basically putting them on blast for this, but you don't look yourselves in the mirror and put yourselves on blast. So again, I get it. Starfield's coming out. Bethesda makes buggy games. Hopefully that changes. And if you don't plan on buying it, just don't say nothing. You know, start talking about the Star Wars game, which I think's the bigger game anyway. Talk about this fake event. Somebody, shout out, I don't know who did a podcast. They said that the Sony event had been delayed, but they never announced any event. How can an event be delayed and they don't even announce when it's going to happen? So again, you've got all these fake insiders saying that they're going to have an event in March. There's going to be a state of play. Again, when Sony announces that, fine, but that's it. So, you know. But we'll just have to wait and see. But like I said before, guys, we'll get some gameplay of Starfield. I was told in May. I mean, I was told several things. I mean, I heard Starfield in May. I was told to stop calling the PS5 Pro. I was told to stop calling it the Pro, just call it the next PlayStation, and that it was going to more than likely be done on 5 or 6 nanometer technology and be close to like 13.5 or 13.6 T-flops, and possibly have more RAM, have dedicated ray tracing cores, because it's going to be designed similarly to what RDNA 3 has, or Zen 3. We'll have to really wait and see how that turns out. But it is a real thing. I saw multiple people asking about it. No, it's real. It is real. One of the first things they did when they built the PS5, people got to remember, is the dev kit was at 14 to 15 teraflops. So they cut it down and to 10, because they went with Smart Shift. That way they could use the CPU and GPU. No word on if there's going to be another Xbox, but I was told if they make one, it would have Smart Shift in it as well. They're going to, you know, because Smart Shift isn't a Sony proprietary technology. It is AMD. But Sony made it part of their proprietary technology for their PlayStation. So it is patented into their PlayStation, but they don't own, because it's the way the PlayStation's built, that's part of the process. All right, hopefully y'all, that should make sense, okay? They don't own Smart Shift technology, but they own the patent to how the PS5 works, and Smart Shift is patented into their PS5. So, let's see here. So I've said before, just this is a favor for me. I'm just asking you all. You don't have to do this. It's not like I'm gonna be blocking people that don't. But you know, they're so angry at Microsoft. It's not even worth talking to them until Microsoft actually puts out games or shows gameplay of Fable and Perfect Dark and some Hellblade gameplay, maybe some Halo DLC gameplay. I heard Stalker Part 2 is going to get delayed as well. They haven't announced it yet. It's it's a really bad time for them. But at the end of the day, Microsoft created a console that didn't have a lot of software, so these guys got stuck talking about teraflops and compute units, and because that's all they had. You know, that's all they got. You know, VRR, VRS, and again, those things are important as well. So, but it's we're here to talk about gaming, and how like I said, my whole thing on it, my whole take is the shut up and let the games do the talking. I agree 100% with that. And as long as Sony delivers those games, that's where I'll be. I got nothing against the Xbox. Like I said, there's a probably greater than 50% chance I end up with one on my birthday. So, and I will be playing Starfield in November. It's just, will it be on a brand new 2070 and I'll get a new CPU, a new motherboard, some extra RAM, put in my new SSD, pretty much build another computer. That's what I'm doing now. I'll be getting my motherboard. I got my taxes done, so I'll be getting another motherboard here, knock wood, in a couple of weeks. I don't know when it's coming. I went to where'smyrefund.com or something like that. It just says it has been received. It's not been processed yet. But if you don't know this, the IRS is processing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So getting that done. So, but all right, guys, I'm going to get on off here. Well, again, I don't disagree with you, Sam Ash. They are acting like clowns, but the reason they're acting like clowns is because they got nothing to play. And so they're just online talking about VRR, HPV, HIV, VS, VCR. They're just talking about all these software things. And again, let me make this clear. If they're getting good results on VRR, that is going to change things, because these games that are struggling on PlayStation, are struggling on Xbox and running better on PlayStation, the actual Xbox is going to be able to take resources and deploy them differently and help with that FPS. The Microsoft Bethesda should have shown gameplay for Starfield. Well, I mean, again, I don't disagree with that, but I think we'll get something in May, okay? If not before, because May represents the six months till launch. That's if the game doesn't get delayed, because I heard Stalker 2 was going to get delayed. I heard Starfield was going to get delayed, and I was told that God of War very well could come out in November, the same week as Starfield, if it doesn't get delayed. That's what I was told by a source. Have to wait and see how it turns out, though. But guys, I'm gonna jump on off here. I do appreciate you being here. I've been here for 2 hours. I'm going to play some games today. I don't know what. Probably, I don't know. Maybe Madden or something. But when I stream, I will be on Twitch. When I stream, make sure you go to my Twitch account. Stop making excuses. It's free. It is free. So, a Bloodborne 2 announcement. Okay, well, we may get it. We may not. So, that is from software. We'll have to wait and see. So, but guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for joining me. Shout out to everybody y'all from all around the world. JP Loco, you're in Australia. We got a message from Jolly O England. So shout out to everybody that's out there, Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere. We are officially, in my part of the woods, it is spring. So we are getting spring weather, and I love it. Rather have the rain than the snow any day. I will see you guys later. Appreciate you coming. And remember, play the games and have a good day. Peace.